Alright, that was a little odd, but I'm back. XSplit was telling me my credentials were wrong, which was very weird since I haven't changed them since last time I auto-connected to my Twitch account. But I'm back. Apparently it was just a server hiccup. This time we have a draft. Let's jump right in after what I thought was a little bit of a disappointing kind of mid to end game play from Pain Gaming after what was a very good start. So I'm hoping to see a little bit more out of them, see them really take it to Fnatic in this second game. Maybe they're just not as comfortable after the laning phase, because they're perfectly good there, and they did a whole lot of good work. But Fnatic just played safe, they played calm, and took it right back and took the game.
10 seconds remaining.
Ban's not quite as cut and dry now that Nyx and Coddle have received their minor nerfs. Still both powerful heroes, of course, but possibly not the constant first bans as before. Fnatic not willing to give away Keeper of the Light. They say he is still one of the most powerful heroes in the game, and we are not giving anyone that kind of map mobility that isn't us. Pain, of course, taking out the Wisp, who was untouched in the 7.7c patch, and thus just as worthy of his first ban status as he was previously. Pain, however, taking a lot more time. Gonna ban out the Lifestealer, one of Era's favorites. Not a surprise. Now, I would assume the Batrider ban is about to come out. No, they're gonna take care of Magnus. They can get either Batrider or Darkseer for themselves, most likely. See who Pain decides they want first. And if it were me, I mean, Batrider was untouched, so I would probably grab him. He's still a perfectly fantastic hero, hasn't lost any power. Darkseer, of course, just as powerful, pretty much. I mean, he's been a top pick and banned for God knows how long.
10 seconds
and there's
remaining.
Perfectly good reason for that, so it's quite possible he will be picked up as well.
5 seconds remaining.
See how this ends up. Nyx Assassin going to be the first pick? Oh, of course, duh, he's still in the pool. I'm talking about it like he's not even in the pool. So they decided between Nyx and Batrider, most likely. Nyx sneaking through the banning phase in favor of that Magnus. Batrider Darkseer? That would kind of lock their lanes in really hard. Lone Druid Batrider. Yep. So Fnatic picking up their much beloved Lone Druid, as well as, of course, the exceptionally powerful Batrider. Giving themselves... Really, with the way... I mean, teams do occasionally tri-lane that Lone Druid, and he can go mid, so not really giving away a whole lot in the way of lanes, because Bat can go mid, off, or jungle, depending on what the enemy's composition comes up to be. So, not a whole lot given away with those first pair of picks, which, as I state every time, I really like it when the teams play that way.
5 seconds remaining.
The sooner you reveal kind of the holy grail of your strat and how it's all going to come together, the sooner they can start building a team specifically to beat you. Whereas you force enemies to make very generalist picks the other way around. Phantom Lancer and Windrunner, next couple of pickups from Pain. Phantom Lancer, of course, a very strong carry, saw that last game. And Windrunner, going to be picked up in early phase. Not to say she's not a powerful hero, just she usually sneaks through to the second phase, if anything. I mean, obviously a lot of burst power, can offlane, can mid, can go in an aggressive try or an offensive try as a support, or even the farmer in an aggressive try. It does happen on occasion. Excellent stun, excellent mobility. Really just an all-around fantastic hero who fills a whole lot of different niches within your team. And of course, a very diverse pick, as I was mentioning. She can lane in a whole lot of different places, so you're not locking yourself into a whole lot. So that might be the tri-lane right there, PL, Nyx, Windrunner, or the Pain could be looking for one more support and running the Nyx mid, but we know where the PL's going. Vengeful Spirit going to be picked up pretty early. Interesting from Fnatic right now. Venge is an occasional pick, not particularly popular, but I don't know, maybe they're looking at something new. Maybe I missed a game where they did this already. I can't, as much as I'd love to, I can't keep up with every single Dota game. I do have other things I have to do to try to make money. But, God, I wish I could do this for money. But I'm just not that awesome yet. But yeah, so the Venge picked up, and I'm perfectly good level 1 stun. The aura can be very, very powerful in the late game. Minus armor, of course, always valuable. A little less valuable against agility carries. It's particularly powerful against strength carries, because they can build up a huge, huge amount of health and not have a whole lot of armor to compensate if they don't build for it. Whereas, you know, the naturally high armor of agility heroes, I mean, you're chipping away at it still, and you're still reducing their effective HP by the same amount, but it's generally considered, you know, for the damage bonus to each attack, of course, the lower the armor is, or the closer the armor is to 0, the more effect your negative armor is going to have on them. So Darkseer and Shadow Demon banned out by Fnatic, support and an offlaner, in case they do try to run that Windrunner as a support instead of an offlaner. Also banning out the Nature's Prophet, and then Juggernaut, Tiny, and Gyrocopter banned out by Pain. So they're just getting rid of carries they don't want to play against. They're thinking that, maybe that Fnatic is going to be looking to run a very aggressive lineup with any of those 3 carries. Obviously, you know, Vengeful Spirit is a fairly aggressive hero, although she kind of needs enough XP to get... Her ult is good at level 6, but it really starts hitting its stride at level 11 when she gets the range boost on it, because then she can initiate from outside the range of a whole lot of other stuns. She can get a lot, be a lot safer, kind of get in with much more ease and do it from out of vision range on occasion, like from behind trees, and it really makes her, on a whole, a much more potent hero as soon as she ticks from level 10 to 11. Pain Gaiman, looking to pick up. I'd be looking at supports right now. Venomancer is on the board. He's particularly good, either defensive or offensive. Let's see here. Visage, if they wanted to pick him up, perfectly good. Leshrac on the board. If they wanted to go any sort of aggressive lane, Leshrac particularly good. Also, Leshrac very good in an uncontested tri-lane if they do get one of those and they're lucky. Bane's still on the board, which they might want to pick up just so they can Nightmare the Lone Druid Bear. But then again, Fnatic was perfectly happy just jungling the Druid last time. They didn't even try to offlane him against that Bane. He turned out very, very powerful. Pain definitely taking their time with this one. Don't want to make the wrong move.
10 seconds remaining.
But I mean, the pressure is on for them. If they draft badly against a team like Fnatic, Fnatic can pick you apart very quickly. Even without Fly, who is just the master of drafting, Rubik going to be picked up again. I guess I shouldn't be surprised with that at all, considering how well Grant played him last game. And Chen immediately picked up for No Tail. No Tail, generally the micro master on Fnatic. Playing that Meepo. I love the competitive games where they get away with picking Meepo for No Tail. It's just wonderful. So we're probably going to be looking at... I wonder who we're going to get as kind of the late game carry for Fnatic right here. Basically, with Tiny... without Tiny, Gyro, and Juggernaut, those are 3 heroes who kind of traditionally... Warlock going to be picked up by Pain Gaming, alright, and Dragon Knight for Fnatic. I wanted to analyze a little bit more, but those picks are just so exciting to me. I love Warlock. I think he's a really cool hero who, because a lot of players in Publix relegate him to a support role, never ever sees his full potential there. So I really, really hope he goes in a farming role. And, excuse me. Dragon Knight is one of my absolute favorite heroes, partially because I love dragons, and partially because there's nothing quite as awesome as once you hit level 16, having a free Scotty and ranged splash. Fnatic taking their time doling out their heroes. Maybe trying to decide whether they're going to send the bat mid or top. Looks like he's probably going to be mid with Hani playing him. We will see.
10 seconds remaining.
Both teams taking their time doling out heroes. Probably going to get an early game pause coming out right here. So what I'm kind of looking to see out of Pain is a farming Warlock. Pod is going to be playing the Warlock, so I guess it's going to be a support Warlock. Yeah, and there he goes buying support items. I mean, it's not that he's bad. I just don't like him as much. I think a farming Warlock, because of how quickly he can accrue experience and gold and can get himself his hands on a very early Ags, can be absolutely gargantuan in the mid game. But as it is, Pada going to be playing the Warlock for Pain Gaming. Sidao going to be playing that Phantom Lancer. Grant going to be back on his signature Rubik. I'll go ahead and say it at this point. I think I've seen him play that several times. Mayno going to be playing Nyx Assassin, and Don't Be Afraid going to be playing the offlane Windrunner. For Fnatic, we're going to have No Tail on his Chen. Cinderin going to be playing the Vengeful Spirit. Hani going to be playing Batrider. Trixie on the Lone Druid, and Era on the Dragon Knight. This is very weird. It's usually in pro games you don't... Why is my...
30 seconds to showtime.
I clicked on the shopkeeper because I'm so good at this. You don't generally see players hanging out in pool for quite that long in a pro game. They want to kind of get out into their jungle and get control of it going. But Fnatic, not too concerned about what's going on out there. Think, Chen and Venge, they'll be fine on their own. 5v2, they could take them. Chen, of course, actually pretty terrible at level 1 engagements because he's a ranged creep. He doesn't have his doesn't have a creep from his Holy Persuasion yet. So basically, if you have a Chen in your lineup,
no more bets, please.
Don't engage at level 1. General advice. Or rather, not necessarily at level 1, but don't engage kind of pre-creeps. It looks like Trixie might actually be taking the mid lane here against the Nyx Assassin. And Batrider doing the jungling. So this is the thing about Fnatic, is they have players who play specific heroes, and players, you know, some players who are generally supports and some players who are generally farming, but they don't really have a set solo mid player. It's often Hani, but you'll see Trixie and you'll see Era do it as well, and even No Tail does it on occasion if he gets the hero for it. It's interesting how diverse they are in who they can run where. Whereas a lot of other teams are very locked into, okay, this is our offlaner, this is our only mid player, this is our carry player, etc., etc., etc. And you'll occasionally see changes, but generally, it's just that one thing. Excuse me. Should bring up those last hits. So say this is probably going to be the only lane where things might be happening for a while, since the other two lanes are mostly uncontested. Windrunner might get engaged on and go down, but I'll try to be watching her health bar for that. Can't promise I will get it, as I traditionally miss First Blood. At this point, it should probably be a drinking game, except if there were enough people watching me to play a drinking game, I'd probably be casting things live. But Mayno just going to be trying to farm up a little bit against Trixie right here. Batrider, you can see him on the map in the jungle doing his stacking. Getting his stack on. Did he go Firefly first, or did he go Napalm first? He did go Firefly first. I mean, it's generally smart if you're not laning him. Napalm, generally going to be a quick pickup, because you want to be able to get the extra damage going on all these stacks. But, you know, having the Firefly so you can get all that nice AoE damage out on the camps for the jungle Batrider is pretty much the most critical part. Trixie keeps getting that bear stun, but dodges it himself, so not actually taking any of this harass damage Mayno is trying to put onto him. Mayno who's eschewing mana burn completely, because he knows Trixie doesn't need mana to play that bear.
You must learn patience.
And basically Trixie he's 7-5 against a 6-3, so it's going reasonably even. What's up with Phantom Lancer not getting as much farm as he should up here? He's 9-4, he's going to be 11-4 after this. Era just getting a little bit more farm out of the lane. Maybe he's missed a couple last hits. Maybe he had to take them under tower, because his supports have been pulling. They've been, you know, obviously getting their own experience by pulling to the jungle camps, etc. But if Sidao has to try and contest for last hits under tower, he's more likely to miss one or two of them with his, you know, the early game base damage that all the heroes have that, surprise, surprise, isn't as big as a tower's damage, as compared to Era, who doesn't have to farm under his tower, doesn't have to contest that. Oh, don't be afraid, might be in trouble here. Oh, there goes the stun coming out, and there's the Dragon Tail stun to follow out, and a Breathe Fire bringing down that Windrunner. Nice little wraparound coming so that Era could kind of force her to pop the Windrun early to try and get away from him, and then just a quick stun from Cinderin, lock him in place. Dragon Tail, of course, being pretty much the best one-point stun in the game at 2.5 seconds. And just Windrunner goes down. Good start for Era. And Dragon Knight, he can carry really hard late game if he gets the farm for it, obviously, because of that range splash I mentioned earlier. But he can also be played very, very aggressively. He actually, for a while, I'm not sure if he still is, but for a while he was a very common pickup in Pinoy Dota. And he would basically go mid, farm a Shadow Blade, and then run around the map killing everybody. No Tail dominating lane creeps to get this early push going. That's kind of I mean, I guess he doesn't want to leave the tower, doesn't want to leave anything behind, just give them a little bit more of a push as long as they have this advantageous position. If they kind of let Windrunner reform and let her get creeps out, they might not have gotten that tower kill right there. So I actually really like that decision. He'll have the Holy Persuasion off cooldown in time to get another creep when he ducks back into the jungle right now. Nyx is going to be going towards the bottom rune. Is Venge going to get to it first? I think she is. Yes, Synderen going to just barely get there in time. Nyx turning around rather than trying to stun and take. He knows he can't actually get anything done right there. And not however, forcing Synderen to burn his magic missile to try and do anything. Whereas he may have been able to burn that and get a counter it with his spiked carapace, which would have been a little significant. But just going to play it safe and back off. Didn't know what might have been coming at him out of the jungle. Looks like Sidao, Grent, and Pod are going to be pushing down this top tower, trying to get a little return for that Dragon Knight early push down bottom. But, again, because they're lacking a jungler and Fnatic isn't, and actually they're basically sharing the jungle between the Chen and the Batrider, but it's quite possible because Batrider mostly only needs this camp right here. He stacks it up, he napalms it, and he just fireflies it until it dies. So it can be, you know, it's pretty easy for Chen to make do with one less hard camp, as long as and if he really needs to, he can come take one big creep from Batrider's stack if he needs to grab something. Looks like now, though, Hani is going to be moving up top. They don't want to give up this tier 2 quite as easily as they gave up the tier 1. This is what a lot of teams have been doing lately. The tier 1 in their off lane, they're not particularly invested in keeping it safe, but as soon as they start pushing on tier 2, and most smart teams will, you just want to force someone to respond to this, because losing an early tier 2 can be really, really significant with the level of map control and the level of gold that you've just handed your opponents. Trixie still just farming this mid lane, sitting at 21 and 18 against a 14 and 12 Nyx, so starting to take a decent advantage right here over Nyx Assassin. That's just the power of the bear. He's got 2 people to last hit with instead of 1. And against a melee hero, like Nyx Assassin, the bear is quite capable of getting in a few free harass hits every once in a while as well. Which, again, I mean, that's just another way to annoy the crap out of Nyx. What's the bear swinging for right now? And, oh, Hani does go down up there to Warlock, which is funny because I saw his HP dropping down. I assumed he was tanking jungle creeps at the time because I saw a hero down there. Forgot he was purple and not blue, so I apologize. I really should have caught that kill. But Hani gonna go down, give a little bit of gold to our Warlock, and the extra XP to Sidao. Oh, and Windrunner picks off Synderen! With the help of Nyx Assassin, Vengeful Spirit gonna go down as well. Good little response from Pain. They get the same, the same amount of tower gold coming out, and they pick off a couple of quick kills, one of which was on a very significant hero, the Batrider, to try and make sure that he's not getting the level of farm he needs. So, good response. I like it. Warlock just going back to pull it up here. All the supports just hanging. How are we doing on levels? It's like most people are actually doing pretty well. Not a huge disparity. Got the Nyx a little bit ahead at level 7 after he got that kill down in bottom lane. But Lone Druid now has to be a little more careful because Vendetta is a thing. But at the same time, because he has his own ultimate, he doesn't need to worry too much about getting burst down. He does need to worry if he can't see people coming from the top lane, and because he can't see any of them right now, has no idea where they are, he feels it's a little safer to just come in and farm the small camp while his mid lane pushes back up just a tad. Picks up his hand of Midas, so 7.5 Midas coming out for Trixie. Gonna get his work done. Gonna quickly Midas that creep right there, give himself and Hani some bonus XP. Actually, I have no idea if the bonus XP is shared in the radius or if it is only doubled on the hero that uses the Midas. That is an interesting mechanics question I should look up the answer to. Things just gonna kind of return to their regular farming sort of state. Oh, Hani gonna come in, put a little bit of pressure on Mano, use that sticky napalm to make him afraid to kind of hang out in lane, and that's basically what napalm does early on, is make you really scared to engage on anyone. Oh, Mano gonna be everything getting immediately carapace on right there. Damage being put on a no-tail, but I'm not sure there's a good engagement, not with 2 creeps right there just waiting to beat on you. Batrider trying to get in time to actually get something done, but not quite getting out there. But now they're going to try and get Pada. He's coming in from behind with the Firefly active. Shadow Word is on, but there's the Napalm slow, and there's a lasso. Should be a very, very easy kill. TP support not going to be coming in. Pada going to tank for a little bit thanks to his Shadow Word, but not enough. And Fnatic is now just going to 5-man this mid tower. They want to play aggressive. They don't want to drag this out. They say, we know what a Phantom Lancer can do. Despite the fact that we have a splashing carry, we have the Poison Dragon, and that is an excellent, excellent pushing ultimate right there. I mean, it's perfectly good for solo pushing or group pushing alike. The extra damage from the poison tick is reasonably significant. I think it's like an extra 45 or 60 damage on each attack. I'd have to do the numbers again at some point, because it's not actually listed. But you can do the math yourself by just checking out the duration. And Tier 2 now looks like it might be in jeopardy right here. A lot of damage at least going to be ticking down from the poison. I mean, look, it lasts quite a bit of time right there. 20 damage per second. Actually, that might be like 100 bonus damage. That ticked, I think, 4 or 5 times. So 80 or 100 bonus damage from that that green dragon. And think about that. On each and every attack, you get about 100 bonus damage, and it's magic damage, I'm fairly sure. I could be wrong. But regardless, it's, you know, 100 damage. Even if it is reduced by armor, that's significant. So 2 very strong pushing carries from Fnatic. They can probably get a lot of split pushing done with this if they really want to, once they're moving into their mid-game. Hani gets his Blink Dagger at 10 minutes. Decent. So he's got Boots and a Blink. Nothing extra, but that'll be enough to let him get the lasso initiation on, obviously, the targets who are a little further back. Let him get just a little bit more work done in this early to mid-game. That courier could be in trouble, and
So
boom!
took out the Radiant's courier.
No idea if there was nothing on it, but yeah, I don't know why it was just sitting there. I mean, maybe it was waiting for someone to drop something on it, but that just was... I saw that coming on the map, I saw the Nyx moving in, like, well, that's a dead courier. And Fnatic has got to be a little unhappy about that, because there's no reason really that should have happened. The courier was sitting there doing nothing. I don't think anyone even has a bottle that needs to be filled. Excuse me once again. Chen creeps hanging out here in case Pain Gaming tries to push in just a little bit. But Trixie just going to happily farm this up as Pain shifts just a tiny bit. Try and control the bottom rune maybe. Oh no, the rune is... No, rune must have been picked up already and I just missed it. Yeah, the only bottle is on the Nyx. So...
Guess what's happening to Dire?
It has been picked up and used by someone. Little bit of pressure going to come out from creeps right onto this tier 2, but not really enough to be worth much mention. Quick Midas. It looks like Fnatic might really want to continue to just kind of 5-man this and push in. The only person not there is Hani, and he can just port in if he's ready. Is he going to keep farming? Alright, he's going to maybe start moving his way out. He doesn't have money for a port, but he bought sentries instead. Because without the courier, obviously, can't run them out. They need to be a little worried about that Nyx Assassin if they're trying to push in without sentries. And obviously, it helps if they can pick off the Phantom Lancer as well. So now, Fnatic in a 5-man. Trixie is just farming just a little bit. Looks like he wanted to just make sure he got the maximum amount of farm. And yeah, here we go. They have the Chen. They have, you know, some fairly aggressive pushing carries. They just want to kind of muscle down this mid lane. But against a Windrunner and a Rubik, that's going to be a little bit hard for them. The Warlock isn't 6 yet, which is very, very significant against this. I mean, if the Warlock was 6, I'd say this is a bad move. As it is, I'd say it could go either way. Depends very much on the initiation. Oh, Hani blinks in, but he doesn't get the lasso. That's huge. He gets tellied, he gets shackled. That could be a very dead Batrider. Oh, no focus comes out on him. The upheaval doing a whole lot of slow. Chen Heal is going to try to reset the fight just a little, but Era taking a whole lot of damage. The Test of Fate tries to send him back, but he goes down before it can. Fnatic just getting caught in just a little too much when Hani couldn't get that lasso off. You could tell that's what they wanted, and now Chen being picked off as well. Excellent, excellent defense from Pain, and now, not only do they get the Warlock Golem, but they just did that defense without having him. So now, if they want to, they can put a lot of pressure on with the knowledge that if Fnatic tries to respond, they can just drop a Golem on them and basically auto-win the team fight at this point in the game. Golems are insanely powerful in the early to mid-game. Absurdly powerful. It's why I like farming Warlock so much, because if he gets that really early, and he gets the Ags at a reasonable rate, he can basically 1v5 for a good chunk of the game just because of the power of the Golems. We've seen it happen when Fogged from Dignitas plays that hero. It's just a wonder to watch. Era getting stunned, losing some of his mana as well. Nice. Shackle Shot going to hold him in, and there's the Golem. Catches several. Trixie going to be the next target, taking a whole lot of damage. He goes down. The Golem is going to be chasing down onto Era, who is slowed by the Diffusal Blade, I believe. Nice stun comes out. Era going to go down as well. Phantom Lancer taking a second kill right here. They're just going to turn with that Golem and destroy this middle tower. Probably be able to push into the second as well. They still have 3/4 of the life left on that Golem. It lasts for a decent chunk of time. If they can't kill this tower, which maybe they don't have the damage to bring it down in time, at the very least they'll put some serious hurt onto it.
Radiant's mid tower.
There's a Wild Wing Tornado running around, trying to slow things down. Also the Satyr Dark Ball kind of coming out right there. Side out, just tanking up with that Shadow Word on. The Golem is about to go down, so that's unfortunate. They're trying not to lose the... oh no, they pass off the aggro on it. More than half health already lost on this tower. Significant. What did Grent just steal right there? What did he get? He got... Alright, level 1 Scream Pain. Not significant. Oh my god! Perfect telekinesis onto Hani. Prevents him from getting a lasso off on anyone. And now... Oh, Hani's going to go down again, is he? Yes, he is, to the Phantom Lancer, the lance into the illusion. That's twice now. Hani's blink has just gotten either a little bit out of position or countered just so instantly that he couldn't actually get a lasso off afterwards. And that's huge, 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 huge. Because now not only has Hani's blink dagger... First of all, Hani's blink dagger has been revealed. They're going to be playing against it properly now. He hasn't gotten any use out of it. I mean, so he hasn't been able to burn his ultimate on a very aggressive hero who basically wants to be killing someone every time this is up. Now for about 2 tries, he's gone in, and it hasn't happened. Then, on top of that, you have a hero who relies very much on getting a lot of levels off these mid-game ganks, just die twice before any kills happen in his favor. Meaning he's not getting the experience he needs to, he's not getting the gold he needs to, and when a Batrider falls behind, he becomes much less of a threat. The lasso is obviously still good, but the damage potential from Flame Break and Firefly, you stop worrying about it quite so much when you start out leveling him like this. Now, after all of this in the mid lane, Pain Gaming has a 3,000 experience lead and a little under a 2,000 gold lead, so they've snatched themselves a pretty nice advantage, which has eclipsed, I mean, basically, right here, we had about a 3,000 gold advantage for Fnatic. So that's about a 5,000 point swing from the point where Fnatic stopped farming and started team fighting down till now. So that's... Excuse me, once again, I gotta not try to talk so long when I have that scratch in my throat that I know means I'm about to start coughing. I just gotta mute the mic, get it out of my system so I can come back and actually keep talking to you guys. But basically, Pain, because of the good team fighting just then, they've nullified all of the advantage that Fnatic got from having the jungle heroes. Was the whole fact that Fnatic was using the map much more efficiently and getting a lot more of the possible experience and farm gone because of a couple bad team fights. And now it looks like Pain's gonna... Oh, are they gonna get Trixie again? Yes, they are! That's huge! I mean, you know that Fnatic wants to be doing better than this in the mid-game. I mean, the problem is that Pain, despite having the Phantom Lancer, every other hero on their lineup has so much mid-game power. I mean, the damage from Windrunner is huge in the mid-game. It's 360 on that power shot. The telekinesis and the Fade Bolt from Rubik, as well as whatever he steals, hugely significant. Warlock Golem is amazing. It may very well be the best mid-game ultimate in the entire game. I think I could safely say that, especially if you're not comparing cooldowns and you're not considering that really like part of the thing. If you're just talking about the swing a single ultimate can have on a team fight, I think the Golem is the best ultimate in the entire game. But, and then, you also have the Nyx Assassin, who can just put out so much damage and ganking pressure and make people very afraid to go anywhere. So now Pain picks off the bottom tower and is quickly trying to come up and assemble to defend their top tier 1. There goes Hani on the immediate doppel walk away. He doesn't get the lasso again. And there's the rock to counter him. He's going to go down again. Most likely he's slowed. He's lifted. He gets shackled. Boom. Hani goes down. Cinderin as well goes down. The Phantom Lancer. And man, this has just been all Pain's game in these team fights. It has been completely in their favor. And part of the problem is Fnatic is just pushing into golems, and poor Hani hasn't landed a lasso, I think, in the past 5 minutes. When your Batrider isn't lassoing, something is wrong, especially when he has his Blink Dagger. And this is the kind of showing I wanted to see out of Pain Gaming in Game 1, although they had a similar lead. Let's hope they don't kind of throw it away. They do have the dire Roshan advantage this time. And actually, they're using the minus armor from Vengeful Spirit. It's only minus 2 at level 1, but it's still something that they can throw out onto that Roshan, make him a little bit easier to bring down. Side out going to be just tanking up with that Shadow Word, not caring whatsoever. And I guess it says base armor reduced by 2. I'm not sure. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. He should be losing armor right now, even though we're not seeing it right there from the number. And there's a very early Rosh. 18.5 minutes on the first Roshan. Phantom Lancer picking up the Aegis. Now has a Reaver and a Diffusal at about 19 minutes and an Aegis. And that's a PL who has moved out of his kind of, okay, I'm a little weak early and maybe not the greatest mid. Now he's dangerous. This is probably his most significant damage item, which is the Diffusal Blade. The Mantis Dilator is really awesome, but it's not his primary method of killing everyone. That's definitely the Diffusal. And he has a Reaver already, so 1,400 hit points on a level 12 Phantom Lancer, 19 minutes in. I mean, he basically has 100 less hit points than Dragon Knight. And 16 armor against 19 armor. So it is now harder to kill the Phantom Lancer, if you're not accounting for HP regen, than it is to kill the Dragon Knight, one of the tankiest heroes in the entire game. A strength hero with a massive armor bonus skill. Oh, Hani, is he going to go down again? He's got no mana to try to get out. Oh, between Nyx and Rubik, man, Hani is just not, it is not his game. He is just dropped early, I mean, not getting any good ganks off, and the Nyx is decidedly being the ganking force in this game, as opposed to the, and Grent, of course, on his Rubik, has been dominating, but you can't feel that there's a Batrider in this game. If you weren't having me constantly talk about it, you'd probably forget there was a Batrider in this game, because he just has no impact. Pain now going to be moving towards top lane. Know they still have that teamfight advantage. They know they have the golems. They're perfectly happy to push in. If Fnatic wants to try to defend this without high ground advantage, I think it'll go very, very poorly for them. They gotta know they're at a disadvantage. They have to know that golem's here. Is it level 2 yet? No, it is not. He's sitting way back, so he can't possibly get initiated on. That's exactly how you position a Warlock, because the range on this thing is huge. Look at how far you can cast that. Absolutely massive. And then on top of that, at that cast range, there's another 600 basically effective range, because the radius on the effect is 600. So you can hit from an absurd distance. You can get this golem off and stun 3 or 4 people with it, just because of how huge it is and how far away you can cast it from. Man. So, I was complaining about support Warlock. I was like, oh, he won't get the experience he needs. He won't get the farm he needs. Yeah. Pata doesn't care. Pata says, Hippie, you're a moron. I'm going to play the support Warlock, and you're going to like it. And I'm like, yes, Pata, I really do. Please do it more. I love Warlock. I love Warlock. Okay, I love Warlock in theory. I don't particularly love having him on my team, because most players aren't particularly good with Warlock. But give me a really good Warlock player, and oh my god, I will worship them. That's why I love Fogged, and it's why apparently now I love Pata, who plays a very different but no less effective Warlock. I really like this. I mean, this is such a weird build, maxing Upheaval so early, but the slow is so powerful. I mean, basically, that's 28% slow for every second he channels it. So in 3 seconds, I mean, it caps out at 84%. In 3 seconds, that's an 84% move slow. 84%! It's unbelievable, and the radius on it is huge as well. It's a 650 radius. It's bigger than the golem. And you've all seen how big that golem stun radius is. Man. This hero. And that Upheaval, actually, really, now that I'm mentioning that Upheaval, I want to very quickly run back. That first team fight where he didn't have the golem, his Upheaval basically punished Hani so hard for coming in that they got the free kill on him, and the Upheaval prevented anyone else from moving in. So the fact that he got that early, when most people just kind of eschew it from their build completely, it's been an excellent decision. He's done some serious work with it, so that's pretty awesome what he's working with right now. What's Grant sitting on right now? Nothing at the moment. Looks like he just lost something. Nyx picks off Venge in the meantime. Pops his spike carapace to get away. And No Tail just kind of wanting to die as well. I don't think he needed to be in quite that far. But he's gone now. Grant. Oh, Grant stole Holy Persuasion. Oh, what a cheeky bugger. It's just funny to see what he can do. I mean, first of all, none of Chen's creeps are safe now. And if they keep dominating one back and forth, it starts to get this huge HP pool. Actually, I'm not sure if they ever fixed that or not. Let's see here, 1550 on the Satyr. That may be only one buff, but I could be crazy. Oh, Eric getting stunned out by the spiked carapace. Excellent play. Why is anyone talking in spectator chat in these games? That's frustrating because I have spectator chat turned off for a reason. Sorry, getting a little angry. I know I'm usually pretty easygoing, but I can get pretty frustrated at times. Just ask anyone I actually play Dota with. Here comes the bear, gets a nice entangle on the side out, and there's finally a lasso from Hani. Push sticks himself in, and there goes the Aegis. They have very quickly popped off the Aegis, but there's the Golem! The Chen heal is trying to make things happen here. The Flame Break just pushes the Golem onto Trixie, who gets sent back to base by that. And now, we have a BKB Dragon Knight doing a whole lot of work. He's getting his damage going. The splash is out. He has the level 2 Dragon now. So, not a whole lot going to be happening there. Cinderin swaps Windrunner back in, but PL has picked off Venge very, very quickly. No Tail also getting picked off, and nice stun on the bear. Doesn't stop the Dragon Knight from finishing off Grant right there. But it does kind of prevent... Oh, Pada getting that first hit entangle. Do they have the stun to try and stop it from happening? No, too much damage comes out. Mano didn't have the stun, and now he gets entangled as well. Nice, nice turnaround. Trixie's so lucky. Oh, man. These team fights are murder on my throat, but I don't care. The game is so exciting. Grant now getting chased out again. That bear, is he going to get the first hit entangle again? Where's the entangle? The entangle! Is Trixie not willing to fight? Does he think that Grant maybe has more support? That he would? Oh, there's the entangle! Oh, Side-Out is there now. Side-Out is there. He gets the slow onto the bear. Oh, the block! The block as the bear was trying to get through the trees. It probably still won't be enough. Bear is just so fast. Hani throwing out a napalm right there real quick. Cinderin is back up, so Pain just going to back up. Did they get any racks? No, they didn't. They got the tower. They didn't really chip away at the racks at all. And that was, I believe, about an even fight. I know Grant bought back. So, even losing the tower, that has to favor Fnatic a little, just because since Pain is out leveling them so hard, you know, that you can see they had a 5,000 experience advantage just a moment ago. Basically, because they're a higher level, each of the kills on them are worth more, both in gold and experience. So an even trade is going to favor the team who's behind generally. They also generally have less gold to lose because they've had less chances to creep farm, because if you're behind, you're generally also behind on map control and can't be doing as much creep farming. And getting that reliable gold when you're behind, excuse me, can be quite significant. And how is the gold difference right now? Still pretty significant. Looks like it's almost 7,500 in Pain's favor. So, I mean, could be a lot better for Fnatic, but certainly could be worse. They're turtling up, but I don't think they're going to be able to turtle very well against this Phantom Lancer. I mean, in spite of everything, in spite of the fact that they have two very strong carries in the Lone Druid and the Dragon Knight, and they have good splash to try and deal with the Phantom Lancer illusions, at this point, Era's going to have to recover a whole lot of farm before he's able to punch through these Phantom Lancer illusions, because PL is now sitting on his heart. He's got a Diffusal, he's got another 2,800 gold that would probably go towards a Yasha or an Ultimate Orb, whichever one he decides to buy first, but we're most likely going to see a Manta style out of him next. And, I mean, when you look at Dragon Knight, he's got a BKB, and maybe he's going for Life Leech, I would assume, is what he would be going for at this point. It's a little late for an Armlet. Armlet, kind of, in my opinion, at the very least, more of an... It helps you press a very early advantage. There's better in-slot items. There's not a lot you can get. There's pretty much nothing you can get that does that much damage for that little gold. So, still a good economy item, actually, if Era feels like he needs a big impact item as cheap as it can come. Armlet, not a bad idea. Trixie buys a Basher. He's going for that Abyssal Blade on the bear again, just try to get all that damage out. I'm really sorry about this throat thing, but again, I would rather cast for you guys, you know, mess up my throat and have it not be a perfect cast because of the coughing, than I would just kind of cancel it again until everything is hunky-dory. I'm willing to push through it for you guys, as long as you're willing to listen. Smoke popped out by Fnatic. They have to know that Roshan is up very, very soon. He's up in about a minute, so maybe they want to try and get a little bit of control of their own jungle back and scout around, try and figure out, suss out where Pain is positioned and if they're positioning for that Roshan. But look at all the sentries already dropped down for Pain in the Rosh Pit. They know that this is coming up soon. They know that they can take it. Trixie definitely just got spotted right there. All the engagement in middle lane. Don't be afraid. Gets pulled in by Hani. Gets push-sticked away, though, and now Windruns won't be getting a whole lot done there. Nice swap from Cinderin to get him right back in there. So, Windrunner does go down. Good start. Side-Out is there. Oh, that pause. That pause. Wow. That's, somebody disconnected. That's really unfortunate. The timing. Oh. I think I just choked myself just a little on that water. Oh well. So, Pata says wait. And now Pata says ready. Lift comes out on the bear. There's the Warlock Golem I was waiting for. Trixie going to be the initial target. Hand of God going to try and get a little of this damage back. Trixie gets ported back by the Test of Faith. Mano was trying to pick off Honey, but he quickly gets away with that blink. No Tail probably going to die regardless, so Mano just uses the stun to get out on Cinderin, who is going to be the next target. The Spiked Carapace comes out to prevent any sort of return stun. There it goes. He's going to try and get it, but Grent gets off. Is that going to be enough damage? Oh, it doesn't even matter. I was going to go check his hit points, his actual total, and then the power shot happened, and it didn't matter at all. So Pain, I believe they lost the Windrunner early, and she bought back very quickly. Ported back in, and now that's a 1-for-2 exchange, so they had to burn a buyback. Oh, if they catch Era, that's huge, and they can get this bottom Raxall fit easily. And I don't think he pops his BKB. Is he actually going to be able to get away off of that? How long is it going to last is the question here. He pops an armlet to give himself a little bit more life. Lone Druid picks up Warlock. In the meantime, Hani going to pull in Nyx Assassin as well, pulls him right into the pool. Look at that damage coming out on him so quickly. Over-aggression there from Mano. Oh, Lone Druid goes down. That's unfortunate for Fnatic. They had a really good position out of this, but Pain's still probably going to have to back off. Grent is very low, and they only have 3 against the 4 of Fnatic now, so even the extra farm on side out, probably not enough to make up for the fact that they don't have the extra disable, and they don't have the Warlock ult as well. They used it already to win the initial fight. So now, Fnatic just going to try and turtle this out just a little, get this Dragon Knight farmed up enough to the point where he can just fight. He has gone the armlet route, going for that kind of economy item, big impact, small gold, which, you know, especially when he can get the range. Part of what's kind of ridiculous about Dragon Knight is that he can get all the damage off an armlet and apply it from range very early, and apply it in AoE. There's one range strength here, or 2 that I can think of, and that's Huskar and Wisp. You know, both of whom are... Huskar doesn't really carry with an armlet so much. And, well, okay, he can. That's wrong. But Wisp's not a carry at all, obviously. And Huskar, of course, not really used. So the only hero you're going to see whose strength and range a lot of the time... Oh, Cinderin. Buddy. You had to know that was a dangerous place to be. Roche goes down, and the rest of Fnatic just wasn't in position to help him at all, so even if they knew that Roche was happening, what would they have done about it? They didn't have the time to get there and actually take care of it, and that's, you know, that's actually something that a lot of public players don't think about, and this is just very quickly moving into this is how you can improve your public play corner. If you're in a public, you know they're Roshing, and you also know that you can't stop it, or you can't get there in time to stop it, and you know how fast they're going to kill him, don't bother. Don't run halfway there and waste, you know, half a minute's worth of time that you could be spending trying to get a little bit of extra farm, a little bit of extra experience, maybe finish that one big item that'll help you defend the Aegis push. If you can't take a fight, don't engage it. I don't care how important the objective is, unless it's like a Rax. If you absolutely 100% cannot take a fight, don't engage it. Very nice pick by Hani. Comes out and gets Brent. Significant hero has been doing so much work. They try to push stick him out. The mech as well. Double push stick. Flame break is going to finish him off. That's a very nice pick off. Now, can they actually capitalize on it? Pata still has his golem. And Phantom Lancer nowhere to be found. Nyx Assassin also not quite there, so it looks like the tower is going to go down the mid lane. That's probably all Fnatic will want to take. They don't really want to mess around when they have to know that, no, maybe they do. Maybe they want to try to siege this middle lane. They know that the Aegis is there. They know that the Warlock Golem is up. I mean, so they have to be worried about this. Test of Faith? Oh no, they are going to back off. Test of Faith sends Venge back to base. The rest of Fnatic just splits. Look at the amount of sentries that have been dropped. The amount of counter-warding being done by Pain Gaming. They know they have a huge map control advantage, having taken down all of the enemy towers. Basically, they want to make sure Fnatic doesn't feel safe farming, like, any of this space. Like, out here. That's probably a better drawing, the second one right there. They don't want them to feel safe farming anything. They want them to only feel safe if they're, like, right here. Or right here. Right in front of their base. And even then, they have to worry just the tiniest bit that maybe Pain is waiting right around here. Or they're waiting just up here on this ramp. Or they're hiding in the wings here. So that the safe farm isn't present. So they're either taking risks to farm that can be capitalized on, or they're not farming at all because they want to play it safe. generally teams will take those small risks to farm, and they'll tend to get away with them, but occasionally you'll still get a pick off that, and because basically they'll take the waves they get to their base, but then they won't be willing to push out and try and actually get any farm, get any map control back, unless they get a pick off first, because they know the enemy team could be anywhere. Sentry plops down by Era just as Mano appears to be going in. Oh, they drop another counter sentry. They know that the reveal has to be going down. There it goes. Oh, there's the blink in from Hani. He doesn't get the lasso again, and that's huge. Hand of God goes out, trying to get something done. The Warlock Golem still unused. Hani is going to die to the Nyx Assassin. Chasing going on by the PL illusions, but the rest of Pain Gaming is mostly just going to be hitting the tower, and that's exactly what they should be doing. They don't need to dive this. Oh, there's the nice shackle on Trixie and his bear. Lots of damage coming out on the Druid himself. Are they gonna burn the Golem? No. Still no Golem. Steel comes out from Grent. I don't know what he got, but I'm curious. He stole... Oh, it's nothing important. Just level 1 penitence. There's the Golem. Catches plenty. Catches Arrowblaze in his BKB. Wastes a precious second of that, which is running down. BKB is over. Side out, chasing onto Trixie, who does go down. Huge slow. Look how slow everyone was from that upheaval. Venge goes down. Era about to go down. That's gotta be GG. I mean, this is gonna be 2 Raxes easy for Pain Gaming, and that's not... There's the GG. This Fnatic can't recover from being 2 Raxes down at this point. Excellent, excellent play from Pain Gaming. They did exactly what they had to. They took a fight that they shouldn't necessarily have because of the fact they just slightly outpositioned Hani, capitalized on the fact that he didn't get quite the blink he wanted to, and then that upheaval coming out from Pata in that fight at tier 2 mid on the Dire side was huge. Prevented Fnatic from retreating from a bad engagement, gave Pain a big advantage, which they then just pressed and pressed and pressed until the game was theirs. That's that then. 1-1. Fnatic and Pain Gaming. Told you these guys were good. Much better showing than they had in Game 1. I'm very proud of them at this time. Let's see Game 3. See who will take it home. Be back in a minute.